Hello my beautiful hammerheads and welcome back to Black Library Reviews part 43, Awakenings, an Astor Sabathiel story. So before I begin with this review, I started listening to the audiobook a couple of days ago. It is October 17th right now and there were no reviews up. This kinda made me a little bit scared because there is basically no interest in this book, and it didn't get better until now, so there's still no review. So then I kind of dug a little bit deeper. There are a few comics out there which are the backstory of Astor Sabathiel, and those aren't available anymore. Not even digitally. Not on Apple Books, not on Kindle. And I have to be honest, I didn't really look at DC Comics or Marvel Comics, the apps. But George Mann goes into her backstory quite often. So, her backstory. Astor Sabathiel. She's an Inquisitor of the Order Hereticus, which is pretty amazing in my book. and she had some Dark Angels with her, and apparently a Grey Knight. And so there were a little bit of fighting, and of course the Fallen came up, the Iron Warriors, and yeah, stuff got kinda messy. Let me just say it this way. And ultimately she got shot by the Grey Knight and then drifted around in the warp for about 100 years. That's where the story begins. She wakes up and she was rescued by another Inquisitor who was waiting for her to pull her out, basically, because he knew she was there. He's also part of her circle, basically. And so, yes, he's also Ordo Hereticus. So she's there on the slab. The tech priest is working on her. And over the first couple of chapters and a little bit after that also, it's just like, oh, I hate Space Marines. They're all traitors. Oh, and even the Grey Knights, they were so incorruptible, but oh, they're corrupted. And this, at first, I was so annoyed by this because it gets reiterated so often. But then there are some hints in the story that there is something wrong with her backstory. And I was like, okay, wait a minute. I know my Grey Knights. I know my boys in silver. They are incorruptible. If one of them shoots her, maybe she has done something wrong and she's not willing to admit it. And this kinda got back and forth. Not my annoyingness. This kinda went away very, very quickly. The intrigue of, okay, what really happened there? Why did the Grey Knight shoot her? Why? What did the Dark Angels do? This is never explained. We never know what the Dark Angels did. Or maybe it was in the book and I was distracted for a little moment and didn't catch it. I'm sorry. Ultimately, it really doesn't matter. The thing we have to know is she really does not like Space Marines. And basically everything in power armor. So the genetically enhanced stuff in power armor. She even doesn't like Custodes. And in the timeline, this is after the Great Rift. So also pretty interesting to see her view of the universe after the universe was split in half. So the story really kickstarts the motor when one of her fellow Inquisitors got stabbed and died, and another Inquisitor tries to frame her for this. And this was like, oh no, now the crap is burning. And it did hit the fan beforehand, and it spreads everywhere. And oh my god, what is happening right now? This was so abrupt, and I love this part. And so, of course, she survives this because there was fighting. Of course, it's a Black Library novel. After a while, she meets an interrogator and another Inquisitor, and they mix entourages, which has a squad, which we now know, of course, is one of the Leagues of Wotan kin, and he's so amazing. I love this dude. One of the entourages really surprised me was an Ogrin, but not a simple Ogrin, because when she first meets him, it's like, what is the Ogrin doing there? It just stares at that spot of blood on the wall. After a little conversation, it's just like, oh yes, I'm looking at that because my Inquisitor told me. And it's like, wait, you are intelligent? And he wears glasses. He's pretty basically an Ogrin nerd, but still has the deep emotions of the Ogrins we know and love. That they are bonding with certain people and that they are willing to do anything for those people. I love this. He has bonded with his Inquisitor, one of the other entourages, and then bonds with the half-kin warrior. And those two have such great chemistry. At first they are just like, oh no, I don't like him. This one is small, this one is big. Not trustworthy, but in the end, there's basically a Legolas and Gimli storyline in which they become best buddies, and they are hilarious. So, but yeah, then to go back to the story, we have several intriguing stuff, as I've said, going back and forth with other Inquisitors. Navigators are coming into play because they're apparently transporting some contraband. And this goes deeper and deeper and deeper, and the more I went into the story, the more I was like, oh, I really want to know what's happening. I really want to know what's happening. And this is such a stark contrast to the beginning, in which I was like, I will just let the story flood over me, pick up certain points and give it maybe a low score. But it just got so much better. We get into a wild ride in which, of course, a chaos cult is also involved. And so this might be a little spoilery. There will be a second book or short story. If not, I will be angry. Because there are several hints that there is something bigger in the background going on, and that this isn't the end. And the Chaos Cult is also very well written. This goes a little bit into Tchaikovsky's great novel Genestealer Cults, in which the cult is in the background. And it's not like, oh yeah, the cultists are here, just mow them down, and oh, here's the leader, oh, we got information, thank you, oh, there is a Chaos Space Marine. No, nothing like that. So the cult is very subtle up until the end, and it is fantastic. I love this. Even though the Chaos God is not the one which I have preferred, this is me, so for everyone else this might be something in which they say, oh, nice. So yeah, there isn't much to say. Weak beginning, kickstart the story after the first quarter of the story, and after that it's just a drag race to the end with roller coaster loopings and barrel rolls in it. So yeah, I just checked, this is the first George Mann story I have read. He has written many stories before. This was a very good start for me with George Mann. Thank you for this novel. So for Inquisitor fans, this is a great novel. However, even for not Inquisitor fans, I will give the same rating of 7 out of 10 cultists hidden in Imperial bureaucracy. So what are your thoughts about this story? Please leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section down below. I am keen to know what you have to say. And while you're down there, do all the YouTube stuff, because hitting buttons is fun. Have a great day, my friend. Stay fantastic. Stay hydrated. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!